Bitcoin surges past $70,000. As predicted yesterday, we were expecting this move, this flash crash to the downside ahead of this surge upwards. And it looks like everything has played out as expected in yesterday's video. In today's video, though, we are going to be jumping back into the technical analysis on Bitcoin, sharing my thoughts and opinions on what I think is likely to happen next. Let's roll that intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Bitcoin video update. And in today's video, we are of course taking a look at BTC paired up with USDT. We're going to kick things off with the 4-hour time frame here with our Binance data. And so yesterday we were taking a look at this ascending wedge pattern, this bearish pattern, and we were looking for a high probability of a move to the downside, heading towards the 50 EMA, 50 SMAs as we were kind of talking about yesterday. Now, obviously we didn't come down all the way to the 50 SMA at currently 66,785, and the blue now, EMA, the 50 EMA, coming in at 66,553. This is because obviously we still remain with a higher high. And my expectation was a move to the downside, breaking down, basically liquidating the longs before going long. And that's kind of exactly what we see here. We can also see we have a clean break to the upside here now outside of this channel. So everything's actually played out quite nicely on this 4-hour time frame. Now, of course, we would have been looking for a long position right about here on the closed candle above our previous resistances, okay, and our stop loss would now be moved to below this area of our trend line, and our take profit would be up in this little yellow red box area. Now, of course, because we're in price discovery, we don't have a clean area to be kind of targeting. We'll kind of just follow this one out. Minimum, of course, expectation wise, or minimum risk reward ratio that I would be happy with would be 1.5. That basically would tell me that I can't really have or justify a take profit area around kind of 72.5K. It just wouldn't really be a good risk reward ratio, so it'd have to be higher than that. But of course, our target range is basically between 71,596 to 76,000. So anywhere in here, and hopefully in due course we'll have more of an idea as to kind of where this goes. Now, if I am to be trading, I am of course going to be trading leverage on BitGet. BitGet is my go-to platform when it comes to leverage-based trades. I find it very easy to use platform, both on the mobile device and on the desktop. And guys, if you are new to BitGet, there is an affiliate link in the description down below. If you do use that link, you are eligible for up to $30,000 of rewards, depending on how much you deposit and trade on the platform. Now, of course, like everything, there are terms and conditions associated with that. So do make sure that you follow those on their website. Not all countries and jurisdictions are eligible. For example, the UK is not eligible for any of that. So do make sure you follow the terms and conditions associated with BitGet on their website. But as I said, it is my go-to platform. And if I were to be trading, I would be looking at this now as a clean breakout situation with a closed candle here on the 4-hour time frame above all of the previous highs. Now, the obvious concern I would have would be that we would look at potentially some kind of resistance in here, but actually it looks okay at the minute with another closed position just here as well. So I'd be okay to kind of let this one ride out a little bit longer. We're looking for good profit to be made here, I think, for Bitcoin. So looking good, right? So if I zoom out of this for a second, you can kind of see our targeted range being here between that 71.5 to 76,000, and it looks okay. From our stochastic RSIs, we still have room to grow on our 4-hour time frame here, so we've got plenty of room to the upside, but the 1-hour time frame does show us an overbought area. So do expect some volatility on the smaller time frames, along with the larger 8-hour time frame as well. Okay, so not necessarily the best positioning, but it still looks like it has a little bit more growth in it. If we go ahead and put on our divergence indicator, the yellow line coming through here is the relative strength index, and we did have a couple of bearish divergences. These are tallying up with these most recent moves to the downside, and we are back up in this overbought range, but we still have some growth in this one. It doesn't look like it is complete just yet. Take a look at the volume profiles here. We can see that we've had a little bit of growth in this most recently as we started to push back up, but the volumes are still, of course, declining over time. You can see that right here. So we have got divergence with this. Basically, we have higher highs highs on price, but lower highs on volume. So volume is decreasing, price is pushing up higher. This kind of divergence will result in reversal. So although we kind of are heading up towards our targeted range here, and we have that potential for a long position, caution is the kind of word that I want to kind of, talk about in this video, because this is where we find reversal. This is where we're going to next find that bigger move to the downside. Last time we found this kind of resistance, we hit this higher range that we were talking about, and we came down here. It was like a 14% drop, right? And so we are now back up into our next expected range. Are we going to see another 14% move to the downside? It is highly probable. So we want to be quite cautious. For example, here we can see that we might have these higher highs on this slightly larger time frame, and we also have this kind of parallel channel aspect of things. We could be looking at another higher low being set on a larger time frame, but does require us to first move to the downside, i.e. we might find ourselves with a 13% quick move to the downside before we continue running to the upside. Profits will likely be taken from this range between $71,500 to $76,000 in my opinion. But let's roll this up into our daily time frame. Okay, so our daily time frame here, you can see that we have a lot of these targets, and all of these targets that we've had in the past have been hit quite nicely. Okay, so we can see that this is just the next one in the iteration of these moves to the upside, and it's progressing quite nicely. Our daily stochastic RSI has plenty of room to the upside, so we can still see this one reaching this upper limit of around 76K. It just might not be in a straight line, and this is one of the big key things that I really want to kind of talk about. It seemed that a lot of the comments in yesterday's Bitcoin video update really misunderstood what the thumbnail and the title were telling them. They clearly didn't watch the video because they completely misunderstood what the actual video was about. A flash crash on the 4-hour time frame for the weekly close was what the video content was about. Yet the comments seem to completely miss that and think about a macro picture where I'm talking about a crash to 30K. That is not what yesterday's video was about. And so when we take a look at a macro picture, we actually still see plenty of growth to the upside. Whereas the micro pictures, we see a lot of this volatility, such as yesterday, the bearish weekly close, and then automatically rallying back up into new all-time highs. Understanding the correct timeframes for the videos that I am posting out, or that we post out here at Cheeky Crypto, is critical, and you're only going to get that if you actually watch the videos. Of course, I mentioned this to you guys halfway through this video, and of course you guys are watching it, so therefore you are not the problem. But there are a bunch of people in the comment section that simply are not watching the videos and are just needlessly and pointlessly writing comments. So to anyone who is watching this video, I urge you guys to reply to those guys and just point out their stupidity in not actually understanding what the video is about by not watching the video. Let me know how you'll feel about that in the comments down below. Let's jump back down into this. So the daily time frame has plenty of room to the upside. That means we are likely to continue this run to the upside a bit longer, and we are likely to see, little mini corrections on that journey to the upside. Okay, so here we can see bigger moves to the downside. And if we actually bring this back down to the 4-hour timeframes, that flash crash that I was really talking about, it was a minor move of about 4.1%. But it's 4.1% that was enough to liquidate those long positions before this price actually rallied to the upside. Understanding the difference between the timeframes and the percentage drops and all that kind of stuff, very important when we kind of talk about making money on leverage-based trades, when we're going to be in and out of positions a lot in order to maximize potential profits. And in this particular case here, on the daily time frame, we have good amounts of momentum to the upside still on the horizon, in my opinion. And so we still have that 76K, maybe even higher on the longer term. Now, if we go ahead and bring in our divergence indicator, you can see that the RSI is actually up in this overbought area, but there's no divergences with price either. So here we can see some corrections in due course. This is showing us that we are going to be looking for a macro correction at some point soon. The stochastic isn't there yet, so it will be something that will happen a little bit further down the line, in my opinion. And of course, volume is decreasing, and we can see this as price has been pushing up on our daily time frame. So again, just to reillustrate, we have higher highs on price, yet lower highs on volume. Okay, so a clear indication that there is a divergence here occurring, and this divergence is likely to be what is going to be the big pivots for Bitcoin's price in the coming weeks and months, because I do think it's going to take quite some time to play on out. But for now, everything's looking like it's on track, heading out towards our targeted range that we've been talking about for the last few days. And I think everything is playing out quite nicely for BTC. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you haven't yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, really does help the content out and channel out massively. And why don't you check out this video right here where JB is talking about some meme coins that have some significant potential.